for Dr. Posley not to know about the contents of those meetings, he would have had to have closed his ears, or what would have had to occur to have happened?
Objection. Calls for speculation and argumentative, I would say.
Join.
I can strike that question. And I will say, so this statement here, Superintendent Posley did not know their contents until receipt of Mr. Pedersen's report in January of 2020. That's not accurate, is it?
Hold on, I'm going to object to the question. It misstates what Attorney Cross read into the record from this exhibit. Therefore, I object to misstates prior testimony and is argumentative.
I'll join the objection.
Previously, I had asked if we could separate a statement into two separate blocks so I could comment on both.
Mm-hmm.
Is that reasonable?
Yeah,
Okay.
please.
I don't know whether or not he was given copies of the formal written complaints.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know. But it was discussed in his presence in the meeting, and if not word for word, the contents that the board members in those letters received were communicated, and he heard them.
Okay. Then we're going to go on to the middle of this paragraph, and it says, despite this, Dr. Posley continued to support Dr. Halliday as his appointee to the Chief Academic Officer. Is that, did I read that right?
I'm sorry, I got lost. I'm sorry. Can you?
Of course. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
I think I'm there. Can you reread it again? Thank you.
Sure. Despite this, Dr. Posley continued to support Dr. Halliday as his appointee to the Chief Academic Officer. Is that a true statement?
I'm going to object to the form.
Can I read the language in front of it? I just want to make sure I know what it's referring to. Despite this.
Fair enough.
That's accurate.
Okay. Then I'm going to direct you to, again, the penultimate line.
On the same page?
Same page.
Thank you.
It should be noted that Dr. Posley could have reassigned Dr. Halliday to a lower level assignment the entire time Dr. Halliday served as interim CAO. Instead, Dr. Posley brought Dr. Halliday's permanent appointment as CAO to the Milwaukee Board of School Directors on November 21st of 2019. Did I read that right?
Yes.
Is that an accurate statement based on your knowledge?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Page 5.
Okay.
It says on November 5th, you see that paragraph?
Yes.
Okay, on November 5th, 2020, Deputy Superintendent Calvin Furman issued a memorandum to Dr. Halliday concerning Deborah Bowling's complaint and Attorney Pedersen's findings. Is that accurate?
You read that correct, yes.
Okay. Now, November 5th of 2020, that is after the October 6, 2020 meeting with Dr. Keither and Ms. Chandran, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So it's fair to say that from the period of the Peterson report until Dr. Keither and Ms. Chandran raised their concerns directly to Calvin Furman, no action was taken to require Dr. Halliday to attend corrective action.
Check the foundation.
Yeah, I'm unaware of any.
Okay. But you are clear that there was a directive to Dr. Halliday to go to coaching, but that he refused.
I'm going to object to this case's prior testimony
Asked and answered too.
and argumentative.
All right.
That's my takeaway from Exhibit 3.
Okay. And then it goes on to say that Mr. Calvin Furman drafted this memo which concluded that the numerous complaints of Dr. Holliday creating a toxic and hostile work environment could not be ignored. Quote, regardless of whether there are real or perceived instances of inappropriate behavior, they need to be addressed. The office needs to operate collaboratively without fear and without feeling of being in a hostile work environment. For this reason, I am directing that the coaching that has been assigned to for you be undertaken immediately. Did I read that right?
I believe so.
So based on this statement from Mr. Furman, we can deduce that as of November 5th of 2020, Dr. Holliday had not attended coaching. Is that correct?
Check the form called speculation, lack foundation.
That is my inference.
Great. Then the next paragraph, it says, in response, Dr. Holliday refused to undertake the coaching, claiming instead that the complaints against him were not true and were based on racism. Did I read that right?
Yes.
Is that your understanding of what happened?
Check the form foundation called speculation.
Breaking the sentence apart again, my inference, yes, is that Dr. Harley refused to undertake coaching. I guess I don't know about, because they were not true or based on racism.
Okay. Then it goes on to say, on January 21st of 2021, the board had a special meeting in closed session concerning Dr. Holliday. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, and that's the meeting that we've been talking about in great detail here.
Yes.
Okay, it lists the board members present and their race and sex. Is that true? Is that true that they list that?
They do list it.
Okay.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Is there any issue with that list?
That list is correct within the context of the following statement, which says he was absent from the meeting. I'm sorry, that Bob Peterson was absent from the meeting.
Okay. Great. So it says that the only board member willing to confirm Dr. Holliday as CAO was one black female member. Is that right?
It does read that.
Who was that member, if you know?
This. I mean, his appointment was not up for discussion in that meeting.
Okay. That's my understanding as well. So then moving on here, he says, Dr. Posley was forced to concede that he would not be able to get Dr. Holliday confirmed as CAO. He met with Dr. Holliday on 2/16/2021 to advise him that he could not convince the board to confirm his appointment, and effective March 1st, 2021, Dr. Holliday was reassigned to Instructional Leadership Director 1. Did I read that right?
Yes.
I'm just going to quickly object to the characterization. You said he said. This report, I believe, was written by Miriam Horwich, who's a female.
Okay. So just focusing your attention on that final phrase in there, effective March 1st, 2021, Dr. Holliday was reassigned. Is that accurate to your understanding?
Oh, I don't know. I just don't know about the date. He was reassigned, but I don't know the date.
Okay. And then it goes on to say he was allowed to keep his higher salary level throughout the end of the fiscal year. Do you know if that's true or false?
I believe that's accurate.
Okay. Do you have any knowledge of why that occurred?
The practice that would have been employed was one that's generally known as redlining. So if an individual is moved one position to another, and in the previous position they had a higher salary, and the movement is, I believe if it's involuntary, then the person is maintained at that level and then de-escalated down either in some period of time or all at once.
Okay.
I believe it had to do with previous contract language.
Is that a policy or something else?
Check the foundation.
Yeah, my understanding is that it is a practice and a holdover from previous labor contracts.
Okay. Did that practice apply to Dr. Keither?
Check the foundation.
Not that I'm aware.
Why not?
Same with Jackson Foundation.
Cause speculation.
The special reassignment, in my review, offered no details as to the position into which he was actually being reassigned into. So,
So it's fair to say that it wasn't possible to determine at that time whether she was going into what position she was going into. Period. Is that right?
I was unable to make that determination.
Okay, and so being unable to determine what position she was being moved into, you would also not be able to determine what pay scale she would be on.
Correct.
Okay. So therefore, redlining wouldn't necessarily be applicable because it's impossible to detect if she was moved from a higher position to a lower position involuntarily.
We can check the form. It's argumentative. Also mistakes prior testimony, and lack of foundation.
I could not make a determination based on my investigation as to what position Dr. Keither had been moved into. And absent clarity on that point, I would not be able to do any other analysis on salary and or redlining.
Okay. Right. So based on the emails from Mr. Furman and Ms. Cotton, did you believe that there were attempts made to keep Dr. Keither at the same salary level after the involuntary transfer?
Check the form, foundation.
My recollection is somewhere, I read something about Dr. Cotton making an attempt to find something that was similar so that either the classification or categorization of the position matched. Is my recollection.
And is it your recollection that that was based on consultation with the city attorney's office or something else?
I don't know.
Okay. Okay, and just taking you back to the involuntary transfer of Dr. Keither, did she make any attempt to find out what the nature of her job was, including the roles?
Checking false speculation.
Yes.
How do you know that?
I was copied on communications that she sent that posed that question.
Okay, what answer did she receive, if any?
I don't believe she got it. I don't believe she got any answer that provided any insight into what the role would be.
Okay.
Is my recollection.
Okay, and Therese Freiberg, was she able to obtain that answer?
Check the form, foundation. False speculation.
I don't know if she was able. I don't know that she was able to.
Okay. I'm going to direct you to a sort of grade exhibit here. I don't know what number that is, but it's the darkened page.
Exhibit 4.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay. So on the bottom, I believe, of the second page, the reverse here, there is an email from Therese Freiberg to Patrice Cotton. Do you see that?
Yes, I do.
Okay. And Ms. Freiberg says, could you please contact Ms. Keither to clarify what kind of special administrative role she is temporarily assigned to, specific job duties, and the title she should use while on special assignment. I advised that she is temporarily on administrator on special assignment and that she should contact you both for any further detail. Did I read that right?
You inserted a special when you said administrative role, but otherwise, yes.
Okay. And what response, if any, did they give?
I'm gonna object to foundation.
I'm unfamiliar with any response.
Okay. But you discussed this with Dr. Keither, right?
Yes.
Okay. And you were clear, based on your communications with Ms. Cotton and Mr. Furman, that management reached out to the city attorney's office in December of 2021 regarding Dr. Keither's special assignment prior to putting her on special assignment, correct?
I was made aware of that through the course of my investigation.
Okay. And do you know who reached out to the city attorney's office?
No, I don't.
Okay. Do you know what the purpose of contacting the city attorney's office prior to reassigning Debbie Keither was?
Objection to the extent it calls for attorney-client privilege information.
I don't know.
Okay, was that because that information was never shared with you, or for some other reason?
That information has never been shared with me.
Okay. During the month of December in 2020, was Dr. Keither present at working at NPS the entire time, to your knowledge?
To my knowledge?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yes, to my knowledge.
Okay. Were you aware that whether or not she was out for any medical reasons during the month of December?
I believe she did share with me some days that she was out. She did share some days that she was out with me.
Okay. And do you believe it was substantial absences or insubstantial?
Perform. Vague.
Can you ask a number, maybe?
Mm-hmm. Do you think she was absent more than half the time in December?
I don't recall.
Okay. And do you believe that in responding to Dr. Holliday's complaints, MPS used Dr. Keither's complaints against Dr. Holliday?
Object to form of the question. Vague and confusing, and also
Calls for speculation.
doing that one.
Could you repeat the question?
Okay, and do you believe that in responding to Dr. Holliday's complaints, MPS used Dr. Keither's complaints against Dr. Holliday?
Can I direct your attention to Exhibit F?
I was going to answer yes to your question.
Okay, great. Can I also then turn your attention to Exhibit F?
Is it in the same packet? I'm sorry.
I hope so.
I have F8.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Your exhibit.
It said, I don't mean exhibit. What I really mean is the attachment to that document, which is labeled as Exhibit F.
So that document's referring to Exhibit 5.
Okay. Yes, the overall exhibit is 5, and I misspoke when I said exhibit. I guess I should say attachment, labeled Exhibit F. Do you see that document?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you. Do you recognize that document?
Yes.
What is that document?
This is an agenda of a meeting between Calvin Furman, Claudia Villarreal, Deb Keith, Michelle Wade, and Rochelle Sanchin regarding concerns about the leadership of the chief academic officer.
Okay, and have you seen this document before?
Yes.
Who do you believe authored this document?
I believe it was Deb Keith or Michelle Wade.
Okay. And then I'm going to point you to what is labeled here as Exhibit G, but is also number 15 at the bottom. You see that?
And
Yes,
again,
I-
for the record, we're on, it's page 15 of the Exhibit 5.
Thank you.
I see that.
Okay. And that's, what does that document appear to you to be?
Objection, lack of foundation.
This looks like one of the documents that was shared with the board, or that board members, at least some board members had, in November of 2019.
Okay, and you've seen this document before?
Yes.
Okay. And was this one of the documents that President Miller handed to you during that meeting?
I believe this one was, yes.
Okay. But there were more, to your knowledge?
Yes, there were.
Okay. Does this document indicate that, does the Exhibit F or page 8 to that exhibit there, does that indicate that these letters were shared with Mr. Furman at this October 6th meeting?
My understanding is that they were shared.
Okay. Great. Let me just check the time. I think I'd like to take a break if that's okay with everybody. Just 5 minutes, please.
Stand by, we're going off the record. The time is 2 p.m. This is the end of Media Unit 3.